What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now you guys are probably wondering, why am I filming on a Saturday? Isn't Saturday supposed to be your day off? Normally it would be, but I figured, since we have the brand new Cyberdark structure deck, I figured, you know what? I figured, why don't I talk about it for a second? Talk about whether or not the structure deck is really good, because not only will I be talking about the new cards that are in the structure deck, I'm also going to be talking about the reprints that are in here, as well as some of the weird reprints that it's just weird. Like, what? So I will be talking about those. And then not only do I have that to talk about, but I also have as well, and this is for all of our fans in Japan, for all of our fans in the OCG, because I'm going to be talking about the brand new OCG Tournament Pack 2021 Volume 4 as well. So that's going to be a very intriguing set to talk about, because I'm looking at the list and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So let's talk about the structure deck for a second. So this will be released on October 15th. So in just about a week, actually. There are several new cards in this set. One of them is called Attachment Cyborg. It's a 3-star light dragon with 1600 attack and 1800 defense, and its effect reads: you can target one dragon or machine cyber monster you control, equip this card from your hand or field to it. While this card is an equipped card, the equipped monster gains 600 attack. If the card is sent to the grave while equipped to a monster, you can target one other dragon or machine cyber monster in your grave, special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So not only is this more kind of like an Axe of Despair, but it's also a Monster Reborn as well, which is really cool. But what's also interesting about this is that it's a much more revamped version of Armored Cyborg, which I believe I saw is in this set. Is it? Or was I tripping? No, I was tripping. I'm actually gonna look it up on Neuron. Let me look it up on Neuron. Give me 1 second, guys. But yeah. Again, it's more like of a was a malevolent nuzzler, so to speak, where I think the monster gains 600 attack, if I remember correctly. Let's see. Armored Cyber. Here we are. Alright. Armored Cyber. Once per turn once per turn, you can either target one Cyber Dragon you control or a fusion monster you control that lists Cyber Dragon as fusion material. Equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. Once per turn, while equipped to a monster by this effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field. The equipped monster loses exactly 1000 attack, even if this card leaves the field, and if it does, destroy that target. If the equipped monster would be destroyed by a battle card effect, destroy this card instead. So with Attachment Cyborg, it's so much better than Armored Cyborg, because you can easily use it. You can easily use it as fusion material for cards like for cards like Chimera Over Dragon, whereas opposed to Armored Cyborg, you can't use it as the material, even though Overdragon says Cyber Dragon plus one or more machine monsters. Armored Cyborg, it's more you're more you're more so using Armored Cyber as a way to pop cards on the field, which is not too bad. But the downside is that the monster that's equipped with Armored Cyber is losing attack points, which you don't want to see. You don't want to see that. That's the big downside. Now as far as the 600 attack, I believe it's similar to Malevolent Nuzzler. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of like Malevolent Nuzzler, but the only catch is that you don't have to pay life points to put it back into the deck. It's basically that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a really awesome card. Being able to just reborn it like right off the bat, and to continue to use the effect over and over again, it's just like absolutely insane. Really good card. Next up, we have Cyberdark Chimera. This is one of the new Cyberdark cards that's in the set. It's a 4-star Dark Machine with 800 attack and 2100 defense. Its effect reads: you can discard one spell or trap, add one power bond from your deck to your hand. You can only use Dragon or Machine Cyber monsters as fusion material this turn. Also, once you fusion summon this turn, you can also banish monsters from your grave as material. So this is basically a much more revamped. So this is more of a revamped version of Power Bond, because you can add Power Bond to your hand, and when you activate Power Bond, you can use Chimera's effect to banish cards from your grave as well, if you do so choose. Which, again, you can choose to do that if you want, but you're more so gonna end up putting the cards in the graveyard because of the fact that they can easily be recycled back to the hand using cards like Cyber Repair Plan, not Cyber Mercy. More so cards, using cards like Cyber Repair Plan. Even also too, call the Haunted as well would be another good one to use, which is just really fucking good. If this card is sent to the grave, you can send one Cyberdark monster from your deck to the grave with a different name from the cards in your grave. You can only use each effect once per turn. So if this card were to be sent to the grave, you could just automatically Foolish Burial your monsters to the graveyard. That's different from Chimera, in which case you can do Claw, Keel, Edge, whatever, which is just really good. So it's a polymerization, so to speak, mixed in with Fool's Burial. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. And then for the reprints, we have obviously Cyber Dragon, Cyber Dragon Zwei, Cyber Dragon Dry, Cyber Dragon Veer, Cyber Dragon Nostra. We all know what these cards do, so I don't have to explain. But Cyber Dragon Core, which is obviously the Rhoda for the deck, basically searches out for a cyber spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is awesome. Cyber Dragon Hearts, being able to just automatically get Cyber Dragon from the deck or grave to the hand. Perfection. Cyber Pharos, not the best card. It was good when it was released. Nowadays, it's just not that good. It's just not that good. Even though you can add Power Bond from your deck to your hand, hardly anybody uses Power Bond because you don't want to take any damage, unless if you were unless if you had a card like Ring of Defense. The only downside, but the thing is that with a card like Ring of Defense, hang on guys, where is it? with a card like Ring of Defense, it doesn't work that way because with Ring of Defense it says when a trap effect that inflicts damage is activated, make that effect damage 0. So it is unfortunate, but still, again, Cyber Prowess is just not. It's just not that good. If you were to run this card, you're mainly using it as fodder for something like Formula Synchron or whatever. If you were running a Synchro package, in the extra deck, so that's just pretty much it. Cyber Valley, not the greatest card in this set. I know that you get to draw cards, right off the bat, but. Come on, really? Who uses Cyber Valley nowadays? Who does? Seriously. Cyber Phoenix is another really interesting one. Obviously, with this you can negate back row that targets machine monsters that you have on the field, but it can easily just be trampled. So, not the best. And then of course too, we have Cyberdark Horn, Edge, and Keel, as well as Cannon and Claw. If you guys have never seen Cyberdark Cannon or Claw, Cannon is a 3-star Dark Dragon with 1600 attack and 800 defense. And it reads, if this card is sent to the grave, while equipped to a monster, you can draw 1 card. You can only use each of the following effects of Cannon once per turn. You can discard this card, add a machine Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand. During damage cal, if a monster equipped with this card battles, you can send 1 monster from your deck to the grave. So not only is it a +1 as far as the draw, you get to you can also 1-for-1 this a Cyberdark monster from your deck directly to the hand, or you could also Foolish Burial. So it's a +1, 1-for-1, Foolish Burial, 3 cards in 1. It's just it's really good. It's a really good card. You don't see this card get played that often because the Cyberdarks didn't really get a whole lot of support when we got, what was it, Legendary Duelist Legendary Duelist 1, if I remember correctly. So it's not the greatest card, but if you were running Cyber Dragon with the new Cyber Darks, it could be interesting. It could be interesting, but it's tier 2, I'll say at best, in my opinion. Cyberdark Claw, 3-star Dark Dragon, 1600 attack, 1800 defense, the same as Cannon. If this card is sent to the grave, while equipped to a monster, you can target 1 Cyberdark monster in your grave, add it to your hand. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You can discard this card, add a Cyberdark spell or trap from your deck to your hand. During damage cal, if a monster equipped with the card battles, you can send a monster from your extra deck to the grave. So this one is different because it's a monster reincarnation, spell and trap Rhoda, and an extra Foolish Burial. And by extra Foolish Burial, it means that you can send a monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, which would allow you to activate a card like Monster Reborn, in this scenario, to go into something like Cyber End Dragon, Cyber Twin Dragon, whatever is there, which is really incredible. Absolutely insane. Absolutely incredible. Really good card. A lot better than Cannon, in my opinion. And then for the rest of the reprints, we have Ling, Jisakuru, the Star-Destroying Kaiju, Gizmek Orochi, the Serpentron Sky Slasher, which is a really good card, really broken. And then, of course, Gale Dogra, which its effect reads, you can pay 3,000 life points to send a monster from your extra deck to the grave. Why? Why pay the life points? What the hell? Next up, now moving on into the spells. First up, we have Cyber Eternal, which I believe I covered this when we got the announcement of Legendary Duelist 1, if I remember correctly. But if I haven't, I will read off the effect. It says, target 1 machine Cyber Fusion monster in your grave, return it to the extra deck, or special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. If a machine cyber fusion monster or monster you control would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your grave instead. So it's more. So it's basically a return of the Dragon Lords, where you can just automatically summon a monster back from the grave, and if it were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you just banish it right off the bat. This is an instant 3-of. This would be an instant 3-of. If you were running 3 copies of this structure deck, this is an easy 3-of because all you would need are just 3 of these. Add a few other cards, like say, I don't know, maybe Super Poly, maybe some hand traps. This card could be useful. This card could have been useful, but nowadays, as I say, you don't see this card often, honestly. Obviously, guys, I don't think I ever talked about this set on the channel, so this is actually the first time that I am talking about it. But next up, we have Cyberdark Realm, which is a continuous spell, and it reads: when this card is activated, you can add 1 Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand with a different name from the cards in your grave. So this is kind of like similar to Dark Magical Circle, where the effect is upon activation, and once that effect is activated, you can't use it anymore, which is pretty insane. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon a Cyberdark monster. So in a way, you can normal summon once, activate Realm's effect, normal summon again, which is similar to what's that one card? What's that one monster? Blackwing the Thunder Starlight, which is very kind of similar to that, but it's more. But this is a much more revamped version of it. You can only use the previous effect of Cyberdark Realm once per turn, which is obviously the normal summon. If you equip a monster from your grave by the effect of a Cyberdark monster that activated when it was normal or special summon, you can equip from your opponent's grave instead. Okay, so you can basically just target a monster from your opponent's grave and equip it to a monster that you have on the field. Yeah, that seems pretty broken to me. Don't you guys think? Don't you think? Next up, we have Cyber Repair Plan. This is actually an older one. I believe we got this in the Legendary Dragon decks, if I remember correctly. It's been a while, but we all know what it does. Basically, if you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in your grave, you can actually activate both of these effects, where you can Rhoda a light machine from your deck to your hand, and then recycle a light machine from your grave back into the deck. Pretty awesome. Then we have Cyber Emergency, basically the Rhoda of the whole deck. Absolutely nuts. Cyber Low Fusion, basically your polymerization for the deck. Cyberdark Impact, I don't remember this card, but basically it's a polymerization for the Cyberdarks, where you can summon Cyberdark Dragon from the extra deck by shuffling Cyberdark Horn, Edge, and Keel from your hand, field, or grave back into the deck, which is absolutely insane. Then we have Cyberdark Inferno, which is actually their field spell for them, which says Cyberdark effect monsters you control that are equipped with an equipped card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Also, your opponent cannot target them with card effects. So it's basically it's a protection of sorts, which is really good for something like this, because obviously cards like Dark Ruler No More, cards like cards like Dark Ruler No More, Crossout Designator are going to be blowouts against this card. They're not going to be useful, trust me. Oh shit. I forgot my fire stick was on. There we go. There we go. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Okay. You can target one Cyberdark monster you control, return it to the hand, then immediately after this effect resolves, you can normal summon a Cyberdark monster. So again, it's kind of like Cyberdark Realm, basically, but it's a little bit different. You can only use this effect once per turn. If this card in its owner's position is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add a polymerization spell or fusion spell from your deck to your hand. So basically it's a protection, a double summon, and it's also a way for you to thin out your deck by adding fusion spells from your deck to your hand. So obviously you're gonna be running three. So obviously you're gonna be running 3 copies of this. You're gonna be running what the one terraforming, the one metaverse, and also three copies of what demise of the land, which I believe was basically another form of terraforming when terraforming was banned back in the day, which is crazy. Really good. So it's basically what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? That's what? Basically 8? That's basically 8 Cyberdark Infernos in your deck, which is nuts. Next up we have Future Fusion. It's not as honestly, it's not as good as it was back in the day, to be honest. It really isn't, honestly, but Still, Zane used it in the anime, so it makes sense. Fusion Deployment. I think I talked about this one before. Reveal one fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon it from your hand. And special summon from your hand or deck one of the fusion materials whose name is specifically listed on that card. Also, you cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck except fusion monsters. The turn you activate this card, you can only activate one fusion deployment per turn. Yeah, so it basically just locks you out of summoning anything else. But going into a bunch of fusions during the turn you played this card, it's just nuts. Fusion Tag, really old card. We all know what it does. Don't need to explain. Machine Duplication. No explanation necessary. Just absolutely nuts. Limiter Removal, yeah, another really good card. Really good card for the deck. Next up, we have Cyberdark Invasion. This is another one of the newer cards in the deck, which says, once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. Target one Cyberdark effect monster you control. Equip one dragon or machine monster from either grave to it as an equipped material. As an equipped spell that gives it 1,000 attack. Yeah, basically, it's basically Acts of Despair. 1,000 attack. Done. Donezo. Send one equipped card you control, equipped to a machine monster, to the graveyard. Destroy one card your opponent controls. You can only use each effect once per turn. Yeah, it's a 1-for-1. It's a 1-for-1 destruction. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Cybernetic Revolution. I never thought I would ever. I never thought this card would be like playable. Tribute one Cyber Dragon, special summon a fusion monster from the extra deck that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as material, but it cannot attack directly, and it is destroyed during the end phase of the next turn. Honestly, it's a really bad version of Power Bond. I'm just saying it right now. It's a really, really bad version of Power Bond, honestly. And then we have a reprint that I did not think would ever come to pass, but it did. Infinite Impermanence. Imperm is in the set as a super rare. This has to be, I think, the most sensible thing Konami has done all year. Because, here's the thing. If you guys know, earlier this year we got a set called Ghost from the Past. There were rumors swirling all over the world that we were going to get a Ghost Rare reprint of Dark Magician Girl, and it ended up being bullshit. This time, we finally actually got something right. They got something right. The world wanted to see a super rare reprint of Infinite Impermanence, and we finally got it. Ironically enough, I believe Imperm was recently reprinted in the newest OTS set, if I remember correctly, as an ulti. So finally getting this as a super rare is incredible. it makes it easier for players to finally get their hands on it. If they want to go a much more budget version of it, instead of going for the higher rarities, this is the best way to do it. And then of course we have Powerwall. This card was released in Duelist Saga, which I still have my copies of. But it says, during damage cal, when you would take battle damage from an opponent's attacking monster, send one card from the top of your deck to the grave for every 500 points of damage. Round up. So if it's 50, if the damage has 50 or it's not 500, you just round up until to 500, and you're good to go. For every 500 damage you are about to take, also you take no battle damage from that battle. So when you do take damage, you're basically milling your whole deck, and you're gonna be taking no damage. Is that wise? No. If you were running a 60 card build, yes, it would be wise because you have more resources. But if you're running like a 40-45 card deck, not the best, honestly, not the best. And then we have Call the Haunted, basically another form of Monster Reborn. Paleozoic Canadia, which says target one face of monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense. So with that effect, it's a Book of Moon, so to speak. Once per chain, when a trap card is activated while this card is in your grave, you can special summon this card as a normal monster. 2-star Water Aqua, 1200 attack, 0 defense. This card is not treated as a trap. If summoned this way, this is unaffected by monster effects. Also banish when it leaves the field. So obviously if you're running Paleo Frogs, you would bypass the banish effect by using it as Exceeds material, detaching it, and it goes straight into the grave, which is pretty cool. And then of course we have Cybernetic Overflow, which is basically a way for you to just pop cards on your opponent's field, which is just nuts, absolutely nuts. For the extra deck cards, we have Cyber End Dragon, Chimera Tech Over Dragon, Cyber Darkness Dragon. This is one of the ones that I don't think I ever talked about ever on the channel. So it's a 10-star Dark Machine Fusion with 2000 attack and defense, and it requires 5 Cyberdark effect monsters. So it would be Horn, Edge, Keel, Cannon, and Claw, I believe. What was it, Claw? Yeah. So basically that. Must first be fusion summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can equip one dragon or machine monster from your grave to this card. Gains attack equal to the original attack of the monster equipped to it by this effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can send one equipped card you control to the grave, negate the activation, and destroy. So again, it's a much more revamped version of Mage Power, where I wouldn't say Mage Power. I would say maybe Axe of Despair, but instead of just gaining 1,000, it just gains even more and more and more attack. So obviously, you would want to target like something like, I don't know, something that starts with our Claw, Langling, which is kind of an interesting card. I talked about it when we got the release of, what was it, Rising Rampage, if I remember correctly, if I remember right. But still, it's a much more better version, I guess, of Solemn Judgment of sorts. Cyberdark End Dragon, which the artwork itself looks fucking nuts, and I might be able to look it up on here, on Neuron, because I still have Neuron on my phone. Alright, so obviously, here's the artwork. I know that it might be a little blurry because I was using Neuron, but still, that's the artwork. Or actually, no, that's Darkness. That's Darkness Dragon. I'm looking for Dark End Dragon. I guess I can't find it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait, that must it must be something else. It must be it must not have been incorporated into Nora. So I do apologize, but yeah, if you never saw Darkness Dragon's art, that's basically it. Dark End Dragon is absolutely fucking crazy. It's a crazy art. But it's a 12-star Dark Machine fusion with 5,000 attack and 3,800 defense. Woohoo! The beefy boy. The big boy. It's a big boy. That's what she said. Anyway, it requires Cyberdark Dragon and Cyber End Dragon. Must be either fusion summon or special summon by attributing a level 10 or lower Cyberdark fusion monster equipped with Cyber End Dragon. Unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Once per turn, you can equip one monster from out of the grave to this card. This card gains attack. This card can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of equipped cards equipped to it. So obviously, once per turn, you're going to be equipping cards to it, and if you have 5 cards equipped to it, that's 5 attacks. You essentially have game. You essentially have game right off the bat, which is nuts. And then of course we have Cyberdark Dragon. Don't need to explain. We all know what the card does. Cybernetic Horizon is another one of the new ones. Again, based off of the name, based off of the set Cybernetic Horizon that was released a couple of years ago. Actually, it's kind of hard to believe that we're this old. That's this old now. This card is always treated as a Cyberdark card. Send 2 dragon and/or machine cyber monsters with different attributes to the grave, 1 each from your hand and deck. Add a dragon or machine cyber monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, send a machine cyber fusion from your extra deck to the grave. You can only activate 1 Cybernetic Horizon per turn. You cannot special summon a monster from the extra deck the turn you activate this card, except machines. So obviously it's a so obviously you're getting the chance to add cards from your deck to your hand by sending 2 cards from your from your deck in hand. It's just that good. It's good, but it's a much more. It's kind of like the only downside is just the fact that you have to have have to have call by the grave to force to negate Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom can easily negate this card right off the bat, which is just crazy. But still, really, really good card. And then, of course, Power Bond and Overload Fusion, two poly-like cards. Really awesome structure deck. Really awesome structure deck. My thoughts on it, it's good. Being able to get common reprints of cards like being able to get good reprints of hers and Noster, and finally getting finally getting Imperm as a super rare reprint. Really, really good. Will it be competitive? No, I don't think it will be, because the Cyber Dragon decks are more of a tier 2 deck. So it's up there. It's up there in competitive play, but you're not going to be seeing a whole lot of interaction if you play the deck correctly. So I would recommend the structure deck, but only for the Imperm reprint, honestly, in my opinion. Now for our OCG fans out there, this tournament pack is mainly here to help with Battle of Chaos and some other future sets coming out in the OCG. So we have going in numerical order. We have Secrets of Dark Magic, which is basically a polymerization for the which is basically the polymerization for the Dark Magician decks. Union Hanger, Delta the Magnet Warrior. Both these cards are for Union Hanger. I think is for the Union is for decks that have unions in it. Delta the Magnet Warrior, really awesome card. Being able to just foolish burial your Magnet Warriors, absolutely incredible. Kaiki, the Unity Star, Tyrant Burst Dragon, Thor, Lord of the Asia, really incredible card. One of the 3 Nordic gods. You can't go wrong with Thor. Star Eater is another really crazy reprint. Constellar Pleiades, Ghost Drake Alucard, Brain Research Lab, Fossil Dig, Exceed's Gift, Rivalry of Warlord is a really excellent floodgate. Hope for Escape, Token Stampede, and a Karibo token. So I'm excited for this. I'm actually excited about the tournament packs. Obviously these tournament packs we won't get in the OC here in the TCG, but you can pretty much get them anywhere. You can pretty much get them easily on sites like eBay, Amazon, TCG Player, Troll and Toad. Big shoutouts to all sites, of course. No copyrights here. You guys know how this works, but yeah, again, as far as my thoughts on as far as my thoughts on this Cyberdark structure deck, I like it, but I don't really know how good it would be as far as competitive play. Honestly, I don't know. But that brings me to the question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the reprint of Infinite Permanence in the Cyberdark structure deck? Let me know in the comments below, and that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh videos in the foreseeable future, which you guys know all of my Yu-Gi-Oh news videos gets posted every Tuesday, and Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue gets posted every Friday. These types of videos are for special occasions, in case if there was like no room for for my news video, I usually just do a second news video on the weekend. So kind of like a special thing. But if you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh news videos, which do get posted every Tuesday, subscribe. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.